Alright, today I'm going to review the Zhiyun Molus X200 200 watt light, which Zhiyun kindly sent me for free in exchange of making this video. With that said, let's start with the price. So this light comes in two options, a bicolor option, which I have in here, and also you can get an RGB version if you want to for a bit more expensive. And each option comes in two versions, a standard version and also a combo version. And the price for the bicolor standard version is $369 and then $509 for the combo version. And then for the RGB version, it's $469 for the standard version and $560 for the combo version. So with the standard edition, this is what you're going to get more or less. You'll get the light fixture itself. You'll get a V-mount power adapter to power on this light from the wall. You'll also get a 4.5 meter cable, a Fresnel reflector, an adjustable angle bracket to mount this light on a light stand and adjust the angle of the light, and also a carrying case to carry all of this equipment safely when traveling. And if you'll opt for the combo edition, you'll get this extension pole and, more importantly, this multi V-mount battery expansion hub, which allows you to mount two 14-volt V-mount batteries and basically power on this light at 100% intensity with V-mount batteries, because by default, if you mount one V-mount battery, 14-volt one, in here, you'll only be able to power on this light at 70 or 75% intensity. So if you want 100% output from this light with V-mount batteries, you have two options. You can either use this with two 14-volt V-mount batteries, or you can get a 26-volt V-mount battery, which is significantly more expensive. All right, now let's take a look at the light itself. Obviously in here, you have a proper Bowens mount, so be able to use any modifier you want pretty much with this light, which is really awesome. And then the build quality, the overall build quality is absolutely fantastic with this light. Everything feels robust and premium. Nothing makes noises or squeaks. And at the same time, as you can see, it is extremely compact for a 200 watt light. Even with the power adapter, it is somewhat compact. And if you wonder what the weight is, here is the light fixture only, 827 grams, but that's with a plate here on the back. And then if you include also the power adapter, it's 1,160 grams. All right, moving on. I just want to mention that this angle bracket you get in the box with this light is a bit flimsy if you're going to use big modifiers. Like I've tried to mount a 120 centimeters softbox on this with this bracket in here, and I saw that it had a hard time holding the light and the softbox at the same time. All right, now let's talk about power options, and I think this light is extremely versatile when it comes to power options. So the first option obviously is to use the power adapter that comes in the box. Just slide it in, plug in the cable, and then you turn on the light. And of course, the next option is to power on this light with a V-mount battery, either directly on the light, or of course, if you're going to get the multi V-mount battery expansion hub, you can put two V-mount batteries in here, and this goes on your light stand, and then this basically connects to the light itself, just like so. Unfortunately, I don't really have V-mount batteries to test it out for you, but that's basically how it works. And another option to power it on is through this USB-C cable. According to Zhiyun, this light is limited to 100 watts, but I have a 140 wall plug adapter here on the side. And if I'm gonna plug it in and then turn on the light, you'll be able to see that it uses the full 140 watts in here, and I can go up to 70% brightness. It says in here 140 watts, 70%. I'm not sure if you can get a 200 watt wall plug and power it on at 200 watts at full brightness, because I don't have a 200 watt wall adapter. But also, if let's say you don't have a 140 watt wall plug, maybe you just have your phone adapter, like a 20 watt one, you'll still be able to power on the light with this, just at a reduced brightness. So let me plug it in. This is 20 watts I'm using. Just gonna power it on. And as you can see, it says in here PD12, maybe the wall adapter is limited to 12 watts. But then if I'm going to increase the intensity, it's going to go up to 6% maximum. So in my personal opinion, this light is extremely versatile when it comes to powering it on. You can use the official wall adapter. You can use V-mount batteries with this expansion hub. You can use a V-mount battery directly on the light fixture itself. You can also use like a GAN 140 watt or higher, lower wall adapter. Honestly, I think this light is by far the most versatile light I've ever seen when it comes to power solutions. But now let me turn it on to 100% intensity and let you hear how the fans sound in here. You have a fan in here on the back of the light to cool it down, and also a fan on the power adapter. I'm going to leave it on for about 10-15 minutes to let it heat up in my room. I want to let you hear basically how loud it gets at 100% intensity after like 10-15 minutes. And by the way, the microphone is about this much away from the light itself, maybe like 15 centimeters maximum, so pretty close. Let me turn it on, set it to 100% intensity. Maybe let's turn off the key light. And also I have an air conditioner in this room at like medium setting and some lights behind me as well. And now the fan turned on the light itself. Extremely silent, I can barely hear it. All right, it's been about 5 minutes and the fans got a bit louder. The fan on the power adapter still has not kicked in, only here. All right, now it's been about 10 minutes and the fan from the power adapter has kicked in. And it is slightly louder than the fan from the back of the fixture. And I think this is as loud as this light basically gets, but I will wait for another 5 minutes or so to see if it gets any louder. And honestly, again, I don't think it's that loud considering the size of the light and then the power output of 200 watts. All right, it's been about 5 extra minutes, and I think the loudness of the fans remain the same. It's not too loud in my personal opinion. All right, now let's move on to operation. Let me show you how it works. So obviously turn it on in here with this button. And then with this red dial, you'll be able to basically move between the color temperature and light intensity. And then if you press one time on the red button here, you'll be able to turn on the effects, and you have explosion, fire, paparazzi, bad bulb, TV, lightning, strobe, welding, CCT pulse, and CCT loop. And also you can go into each effect, adjust the intensity, and also the color temperature and speed at the same time. And then if you press and hold the red dial, you'll be able to go to these options in here. First of all, you have in here the studio mode. And basically, if you're going to turn it on, it's going to turn on the light automatically after you're going to plug it into the wall socket, basically. All right, next, you have in here also a dimming curve option. Honestly, I'm not really sure what it does, but you have linear, exponential, I think, log, and also S-curve. And also, you'll have the Bluetooth settings in here, language, information, and factory reset. And of course, if you want to, you can control this light via the Zhiyun application. And it connects very quickly, by the way. So you can control things like brightness with a 0.1% increments, and then also temperature, as you can see. And if you have the RGB version, you'll be able to also control the color of the light. And also you can create in here presets. For example, I have here a B-roll preset at 100%, and then a studio preset at the same time. All right, now let's talk about the output of this light. I measured the output with my new lux meter in here. I positioned the light about 1 meter away from the lux meter to be as accurate as possible. And then also I compared it to my Godox SL60W just basically as a reference. And here you can see on the screen the chart of the results. If you use the Zhiyun Fresnel at 5500 Kelvin, you will get 24,300 lux, which is significantly brighter than the Godox SL60W at 7,245 lux. So basically this light is about 3 times brighter at 5500 Kelvin compared to the Godox SL60W, which is pretty cool considering this light is smaller than the SL60W. But if you're going to use this light at 2700 Kelvin, you'll get slightly lower output results. And of course, if you're going to get the RGB version, the output of the 5500 Kelvin option and 2700 Kelvin options are going to be slightly dimmer than with this light, basically. So all in all, I think this light is honestly fantastic. It is extremely versatile when it comes to power options. It has a proper Bowens mount to mount basically any modifier you want, and the fans are not too loud. It's easy to control and whatnot. The only negatives about this light is that you do have to pay a bit more, significantly more actually, for the multi V-mount expansion hub to mount 2 V-mount batteries at the same time and connect it to this light. And also didn't like the angle bracket that comes with this light because it doesn't hold the light well with like a big modifier, something like 120 centimeters and up. But other than that, if you're looking for a compact 200 watt light solution that you can use when traveling and whatnot, this is definitely a good option to consider in my opinion. So yeah, I think this is it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. And thank you, Zhiyun, for sending this over for a review. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.